y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Muriel, that's Nurse Muriel. It is 7 a.m. in the morning. I am running a little late for my shift. I'll be there in about 5 minutes though. I'm not really running a whole lot behind. At the latest, maybe 10 minutes. Y'all know if I know I'm going to be like at least 15 minutes late, I always call and let them know, but it shouldn't be any more than like 10 minutes. Shouldn't be more than 10 minutes. I'll give it 7 8 minutes. Anyway, hi to my new subscribers. I'm Muriel. I'm a registered nurse and I prefer long-term care. Hey to my oldies but goodies. Today I am doing my first 16-hour shift. Remember I told y'all in the last video that at my PRN job I'm going to be picking up some 16 hours. Not going to be working that other job, that other agency job that I've been to since November because I was getting kind of bored, bored with it. So instead my dumb behind chose to do 16 hours at this facility instead of 12 hours at the facility that I was getting kind of bored with. But that's how it goes, y'all. You get bored with jobs. You'll know if you're just starting out in your nursing career, you may be one of those that end up staying on a job for 20, 30 years. I met a few people like that, but for me, even at the age that I am, I'm 46 years old. I came into this nursing at 21. I have never held down a job longer than 5 years. And in the 5 years that I held down a job, I would go from full-time to part-time. Full-time to part-time to PRN. Like, I never stayed consistently 5 full-time years on a job. And it's because I get bored so much. And most of the nurses that I have met, outside of the ones who are actually older than me, to be honest, like they're in their 50s and 60s. But most of the nurses who are like my age and younger, they've job hopped so much in their nursing career, they probably worked at just about every long-term care facility in the city where they live. For those who went on to get there. Now, I will say for those who went on and achieved their RNs and worked at a hospital, they typically stayed at the hospital for a long time up until C-19 hit and that money was flowing like it was flowing. That's when they finally left their hospital jobs. I found more nurses that work in the hospital and acute care that will hold on to their jobs 10 plus years prior to, like I said, prior to C-19. They were staying on them jobs 10 plus years. And I'm gonna be honest, I probably would have been in the hospital system still had I been able to get that transfer that I put in for right before COVID hit. I put in for a transfer to assisted facility to where I was working, and I did get hired, but then C-19 hit and that hospital did a lot of elective surgeries, and people weren't doing the elective surgeries, so they couldn't bring me on. And it was just it was already stressful in the hospital where I was working, but in the facility that I was working in, but it became too stressful when C-19 hit. I did go back for a short term for like 6 months, took a contract, and then I haven't been back to acute care since. I was talking to a nurse, a coworker of mine, who's been working long-term care, but she left the hospital after doing a few contracts to come to long-term care because she originally started in long-term care as an LPN. She's now an RN with her bachelor's degree, and she did some hospital. She was back in long-term care with me at the facility I said I was working since November. But she has since taken a contract now back at a hospital. She's going back into acute care. She said she just didn't want to lose all her hospital skills. So, that's understandable. She is a travel contract for her, but she lives in South Carolina and she's going to be working at a hospital in South Carolina. So, anyway, I'll get back with y'all guys at my lunch break, tell y'all how my first half of my 8 hours have gone. And yeah, good morning to y'all. If it's morning when you're seeing this, good morning to you. Hey y'all, I'm back. I'm on my lunch break. It is 4:40 right now. So I clocked in at 7:08, and I worked all the way up until now, non-stop. It's been pretty good so far, and they really started cutting up today around 3 o'clock, y'all. There's this thing called sundowners where I don't know why it is, but later in the afternoon, residents with cognitive issues they are known to start really acting up. And when I tell you they started today, they started around 3 o'clock. I was like, I know better. Had one patient who had some, I mean, it's not a behavior, but he had some projectile vomiting. Checked him for constipation, did a digital exam. He's not constipated as far as I can feel. As far with my index finger, he had a lot of diarrhea, so his family is actually coming to take him to the emergency room. I wasn't told that this had been going on since yesterday, but you know, the family was aware that it started yesterday, so they're coming to take him to the emergency room. Yeah, I waited like an hour for her to get there to come take him. She hadn't taken him, y'all. I've been on the clock since 7:08. I had to leave. I'm going to take my lunch break. This facility does this thing called daily pay, and let me tell you, when I come to work here, I'll be right back, y'all. Let me run in here and get these pictures that I ordered from CVS. Hey, y'all, so I came to pick up some prints from CVS I ordered last night. You know, I forgot all about, a lot of people be doing portraits, but I forgot all about you can send prints up to CVS. Y'all, look at one of my prints now. This is one of my pictures. It's such a pretty picture, but y'all look at that right there on the picture. I forgot to, a mess. This quality didn't come out too bad. One of the other ones, it came out pretty bad. These are just pictures I had on my phone. This one is so nice. These are some pictures of me, guys. This one is cute too. This is an all-white party that I went to. That's a cute picture. I like that. But yeah, I uploaded. I'm gonna have to take some more pictures, take some family pictures as well. You know, you use photographer these days, but shoot, you can take your own pictures, upload them, CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, wherever, and print your own pictures off. But those are some pictures of me. So I'm heading to get lunch, y'all. I know originally my plan was to go get some fish. I don't know. I really don't know what I want, y'all. I'm really not hungry. And when you're not hungry is the best time to just get something, especially when you're trying to, like me, trying to lose some weight. So instead of getting that fish, I kind of do want the fish, though. Not going to lie. But instead of getting that, I'm just going to go run by Taco Bell and get one of their protein bowls. I call it protein. Yeah, their protein bowls. You know, the chicken salad and yeah, just gonna go get one of their protein bowls. I'm really not hungry. And I don't want to eat the rice. Rice comes with the protein bowl from Taco Bell too, but oh well. Like I was saying, y'all, today has been a good day. I still got, it's almost 5 o'clock. I still got 6 hours to go. It has been pretty good. The wound doctor came today, so they were doing rounds with the wound doctor, so the treatments did get done. There's one treatment I have to do because the resident, you know, she just couldn't get it together to get her treatment done. She just kept saying she wasn't ready, so I'll have to do her, but she's pretty mobile, so it won't be an issue. Yeah, so if y'all ever have to send a resident out to the hospital, just know that you have to call the hospital, which I'm not sending him out. His family member wants to take him, but I'm still going to call and give them a report. She may have already gotten him and left by the time I get back, but she said over an hour ago that she was, coming to get him, to take him, and she hadn't shown up yet, so I just gotta keep putting it on. But let me tell y'all what happened to me with the daily pay. So this facility does daily pay. Daily pay is where you can work that day, like a lot of agencies do. But now facilities are doing it as well. You don't even have to work with an agency. Daily pay is where you work that day. You work that day, and they say you get paid that day, but I found that you actually get paid the next day. So it's not really same day pay unless maybe you get off at midnight and you get paid at 7 a.m. I don't know. But I've always gotten paid the next day. So I worked a shift a little over a week ago, and I didn't have relief. My relief didn't show up. So I, continued on working, passing the meds. I was going to pass as much as I can to help out for, the nurses that were there. But then the nurse decided to show up like about 7:50. I ended up leaving like, no, she showed up about 7:55. So by the time I finished what I was in the middle of and counted off with the other nurse, it was like 8:15. So my daily pay thing put me at like, I think it put me at like 13.15 hours or something like that. Well, anyway, so the next day it wouldn't pay me, because when I work at my PRN job, I hit that daily pay, y'all. I utilize that daily pay. Well, it didn't pay me, and it said because I had earned more than the allowed amount that the facility allows per day for, I guess, an individual employee.
Good evening, welcome to Taco Bell. May I take your orders, please?
Yeah, so I didn't get paid, y'all. And so I called the HR the day that I realized I didn't get paid. I called HR and she was like, oh, don't worry, it'll hit the next day or whatever. Well, the next day didn't hit, which was the 11th, and it still hasn't hit. Today is the 18th, and this is my first time back to the facility since then. So I went in there and I told her, the pay never hit or whatever. And she was like, huh, what? She didn't understand. I was like, yeah, it never hit. And she was like, so I told her what the people told me at daily pay. And she was like, well, that doesn't make any sense, because you have worked that amount of hours before and you got your money, your daily pay work. And I said, yeah, I don't know what the problem is. So the only time that I had went over like 12.5 hours was one time back on August the 2nd. So she was like, she didn't understand that either. So when I called them in front of her, the lady said it on the phone. She said the company only allows a certain amount daily per, I guess, employee, and I exceeded that amount. And I was like, that don't make no sense, because they know this is nursing. People show up late, people don't show up at all. You can't you never know what time a person might be getting out the door. They might end up working a double if somebody never show up. How you gonna put a cat? And mind you, I only make $42 an hour at this facility. I only worked, I think it was like I said, 13.5 hours or something. So that was too much. That put me at over, if y'all do the math, y'all, that ain't even $600. That's not even $600. So that put me at over the amount. I was like, so I had to go in there and clarify with her today, because I'm working 16 hours for my next few shifts, and I'm working 16 hours because I want my money. I want my daily pay. I'm not waiting 2 weeks to get paid. People didn't wait 2 weeks to get paid since COVID hit. And she was like, yeah, she understand. That's the incentive for people to, come on in, and, she understood. So she sent an email to her boss to, just inquire about this. Like, because let me tell you, if I can't get my money, my daily pay, first of all, I'm taking a pay cut to come to y'all from my other facility. So I'm working the extra 4 hours. Thank you. You too. So I'm working an extra 4 hours to make that up. And getting daily pay was the incentive for that, because the facility itself pay every 2 weeks, and daily pay, I get my money next day. So if you're going to tell me that I can't get my money the next day, I'm sorry, I'm going to cancel every shift I got with y'all, because I'll go work and make more money, even though I was forward. But at least I got that money. At least I got that money every week. And it was more. It don't make sense for me to, it already don't make sense probably to a lot of people for me to work for less money and work longer hours to get that, get less money. But to turn around and get paid every 2 weeks? Nah. No. I can't. Now that I can't do so. And then it's Friday, so it's like, this money I work today, if I get it, I'll get it tomorrow morning. So, not necessarily that I need the money, but I don't have no plans on it. It's just something about seeing that money sitting in your account. That's a little reassurance for me. Anyway, y'all, I just decided to pop back in on my lunch break. My protein bowl. Y'all can see it. This is gonna be it for me today, y'all. I will probably be full off of this and this unsweet tea. I don't know if I said in the prior video, but I be eating like one meal a day sometimes, and I get so full. And I do so well when I work because I can get one meal and then I'll be full for the rest of the day. I might go home and get a sandwich or something. And that's a might. When I get off, it's going to be dark. So I'll get back with y'all when I clock out. Hey y'all, I'm back. So this is the next day. I clocked out of my 16-hour shift right at 10:58. It was a good shift. Let me tell you, I ended up because I hadn't worked that they have a split nurse, a 7 to 11 nurse, and I had never done the split before. That's why I'm doing 16s. While I'm doing 16s, I'm feeling that 7A to 7P position, but I'm also feeling that 7P to 11P, that third nurse, because they used to work 4 nurses at night. Now they work 2.5 because one of the nurses comes at 7P to 11P and leaves, and that leaves 2 nurses. And so they're always looking for a 7P to 11P nurse every day, and they have 2 7P to 7A nurses. So me working 7A to 11P, I fulfill one of the day shift nurses as well as that 7P to 11P. So I had never done the split before, and the nurses that were there that night, one of them had never worked night shift before. And so the split nurse, what she does is she picks up a few patients on the back end of one hall, and she picks up a few patients on the back end of another hall, and she does their 8, 9, and 10 o'clock meds. And so there are certain patients that she pick up, like she don't pick up the whole back end of both halls. She picks up a certain number, like I think 10 apiece. Well, I didn't know which ones were mine on one of the halls. Okay, so I'm gonna say this wing, the night shift nurse that came in, she knew where I started and stopped on her back end. But the other side, that nurse didn't know where I started and stopped. I didn't know either, and being that was my hall on 7A to 7P, that whole back end, I just proceeded to pass the medications, and I passed them to everybody that I had during that day shift. When in actuality, I was only supposed to have about 10 of those people. And so it made my med pass a little longer. So I actually didn't get out of there until like 10:58 last night, which I'm not going to complain because my shift was 7A to 11. So I wasn't there till 11:15 or 11:30 trying to do, and being that I had worked with that back end of that hall the whole day, I knew all those patients. So it wasn't hard for me to pass their meds. I would have saved myself probably 20 minutes had I not done all those patients over there. But that 7P to 11 nurse, all she does is pass the medication. And if anybody's tube feeding them, she changed out too, but she doesn't do any documentation. She doesn't do any wound care. And so I got out of there at 10:58. All in all, the whole 16-hour shift, it wasn't bad because I paced myself. I took my time. I didn't get aggravated. And what made it even better is that there was a treatment nurse there. They were there doing the wound rounds. So that made it even better. But I paced myself. I didn't get aggravated. When I was passing my morning meds, I was going through to make things easier for myself because I plan to do that 7A to 11P a few times a week. On each med card, because this facility has cards, I wrote the time that the medications are given. So if a medication is 8, 2, and 10, I wrote 8 a.m., 2 p.m., 10 p.m. on that card. If the medication is, however the medication, whatever time the medication is given, I wrote it on the card. And so when I go to the MAR and look at their MAR, when I, glimpse over their MAR, it'll be easier for me to pull the cards out and match it to the MAR instead of me. Sometimes you get so accustomed to the patients, their meds, and you just pull, which I don't suggest that because you could be off one day and somebody's medication can get discontinued or the dosage can be decreased. And if it wasn't a vigilant nurse there the day before, they still left that entire card on that patient's in that patient's little spot. And say a person was decreased from Norvasc 10 to Norvasc 5, you could accidentally still just punch the 10 because the 10 milligram card is still there. But when you should have looked for the 5 milligram card, or well, 5 milligrams would be a half a tab. Which you should have looked for like the half a tab, or punch half of the tab, or whatever, scored the tab. So I don't just pull just to be pulling, because I know that's what they got the day before. But putting the times on the cards will help me from searching through, flipping through the cards, well, okay, this. And then when I look over the MAR, if a patient has a new medication, I'll know, okay, well, look for this new medication, or look for this med change, or whatever. It'll just make it quicker for me. And so I went through yesterday while I was passing meds, I went through writing, like I said, if somebody got something because I'm going to be doing 7A to 11P. And I had did this already on the car when I did a night shift there. I had did this already on some of their cars where they get 6 a.m. meds. Like a lot of my 2 feet, so they're on the 612 schedule there the majority of the time for 2 feeders. So the 2 feeders get them at 6A, 12P, 6P, 12A. And so I went through and I wrote that on the night shift. When I worked night shift, I wrote all the 6 a.m. on the 6 a.m. meds that, the 2 feeders got in their section or whatever. But if y'all can follow what I'm saying, if you're a nurse, you understand what I'm saying if you're working long-term care. But anyway, so the next time I do this round, the next time I do this 16, I should be able to probably get out there at 10 p.m. if I need to, because I know, I know now what patients I'm supposed to stop at, and I know what medications they take, and I'll know, just to be, vigilant. I'll look through the MAR real quick just to see, if there were any changes from the week before. But if everything's a go, I know I can just punch, pull. I can just punch, get punch. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, my 16 hours wasn't bad. Now, I looked on my daily pay today, and nothing has been deposited. Now, what I did yesterday was I worked 7A, and I clocked out at like 4:20, 4:30, and went to lunch. I didn't break. I clocked out like end of shift, and then I came back on about 5:15, and I clocked in like it was a whole nother shift. So I was hoping, which my HR lady, she told me to do this as well. She was like, clock out and then clock back in. Don't just clock out for break, but like clock out in your shift. And she said, if all else fails, you should at least get paid for the first, portion that I worked, which was 9 hours, I believe it was 9 from 7 to 4. Yeah, so like 9 hours, 9.5 hours. I should get at least, that on the daily pay. But so far, nothing has hit. Now, she did yesterday email her boss to find out why, why they have that cap, and to explain to them that there will be a nurse working 16 hours to fulfill, that need for that 7P to 11P nurse. And, a lot of the reason why I'm doing it is because of the daily pay. So hopefully soon something will show up. I think it does work on the weekends, because I do remember getting, like, they're 24 hours, and I do remember getting, like, daily pay on the weekend. So I'm hoping that it shows up, because really, if it don't, it's no purpose in me really working these 16s. Not gonna lie to you, because I'm not waiting 2 weeks to get paid out. That has been over and done with 3 years ago. I don't do that anymore. we don't wait a week. We don't wait 2 weeks to get paid in nursing anymore. That's over with. Yeah, so that's ending out that video, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed. Now, I have a day party that I'm attending today. It's a 70s, 80s, 90s, and 70s, 80s, 90s, I believe, day party, y'all. I love me some 70s and 80s music. Love and happiness. Something going on. Someone's on the phone. It's rocking the morning. Yeah. Talking about how she can make it right.